Masculine men lead, charming men get laid. I love the title for today's video because it goes perfectly with the sophisticated scoundrel tone and voice that we're building here, okay? It's playful, fun. But I want to give you some solid tactics on this topic today, okay? Because this is something that I think a lot of you guys could really use. And the reason why I say this is because masculine men, which a lot of you guys have masculine traits. Now, you're probably struggling because you're not living up to those traits and you're letting feminine ones get in the way. But masculine men are logical. They solve problems. They're problem solvers. They're fixers. They're determined. They're driven. They're very mission oriented, mission focused, right? And that's a good thing to have, obviously. But the real secret sauce to grabbing onto a girl's heart and tickling that inner emotion is the charm, okay? Which is where I'm coming up with this title for today's video. Now, I want to just caveat this. Obviously, I'm saying the charming men get laid. But, you know, I've been talking to a lot of guys lately who they're not necessarily looking to do the hookup thing. And that's what we've talked about in the several last videos. They've been in the player mode, but they're looking for something more long-term. They're kind of tired of the hookup thing. So when I say charming men get laid, it isn't strictly for the purpose of just getting laid and going out and hooking up. What I mean by that is that it just gets that side of her emotions going. And it has obviously, let's say it was long-term, you get married, you become long-term girlfriend, boyfriend. You will eventually be getting laid, I hope. So that's what that means, okay? This isn't a quick thing on how to hook up per se. Obviously, that it will work for that. But I just want to say, for those of you guys out there who, I don't want to do the hookup thing, that's fine. But you still need to be charming and be able to get laid. Okay, there's a difference there, so keep that in mind. For the guys out there who are too logical, rational on that side, they're having trouble even getting to that point. So that's what this video is about. So this is what I want you guys to think about. This is gonna be a nice, short, tight video. But when you're interacting with a woman, you know, the whole idea is that, you know, you bring masculinity to the equation, right? And, you know, I was talking about this with a private coaching client the other day to help him understand how this works. And I thought it'd be a great thing to share with you guys. So, you know, masculine traits, you know, oftentimes you're logical, you're rational, you're a problem solver. You know, you are protective, you have a routine. Great masculine traits. But the thing is that you need to remember is that these are the things that operate in the background, okay? Those are the frame. That's what builds the life and the man that you are, okay? But you have to remember that the charm and the playfulness is the flavor that she actually will taste, okay? So all of those typically masculine traits, those are your operating system that they should be running in the background. Whereas the charm, being flirty, sexual escalation, playful banter, being smooth, being charming, these are the things that are going to be what you're using to interact with a girl that you're going out with, okay? You don't necessarily want to flex all the logic and rationalizations and convincing, because that stuff does not trigger emotional connection. It doesn't build rapport like being charming and playful does, okay? So that's something that I want you guys to keep in mind, okay? So what does this look like, again, on a first date or when you're going out with a girl? So the masculine side of you that's logical and is a problem solver, you're being decisive. Well, you're setting the time, you're picking the location, you're handling the logistics of the place that you're going to. So for example, you know, when you're asking a girl out, you're not going to ask her, well, where do you want to go? What should we do? What do you like to do? None of that. You're going to use the masculine strength of being decisive. Okay, great. Well, let's meet at 7 o'clock at Applebee's. Sound good? Boom. You've nailed down the time after she told you what day she's free. You've already found the location. Boom. Okay. So she doesn't have to make those decisions. And when you ask her, like, what do you want to do? What do you like to do? Again, that's a no-no, because being decisive is masculine. Don't make her be masculine. Okay. There's plenty of free street parking, or there's a big parking lot in the back you can park. You're handling all the logistics. See how, you're taking care of the business angle of it. Now, obviously, you're communicating that with her, but you're not using that outright to be attractive. Now, it will hit her as attractive because she's going to think, wow, this guy, he just handles everything. He's direct. He's decisive. I don't have to think. He's not asking me a million questions. So you're doing that, but it's like playing in the background. Now you get to the date. You're sitting next to each other. Okay. You're going to kind of put those things to the side, and now you're going to bust out the charm. You're going to be playful. You're going to use a little sexual innuendo. You're going to escalate physically. You're going to tease her, right? You're going to playfully banter back and forth a little bit. Those are the things that you want to draw out for the actual interaction, okay? You're going to physically escalate, Hey, what's that ring you got there? Let me see that hand. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Those fingers look like they could do some damage on a piano. Do you play any instruments, or what's the deal? Okay? You touch her, you start building that part of the rapport, okay? So just keep this in mind, guys, because this is very powerful. The masculine traits, like we talked about, use those to set things up, and those things will run in the background. Whereas on the date, when you're interacting, keep it fun, keep it playful, tease, joke. Don't get too serious. Don't get too caught up with logistics and facts and statistics. Well, actually, this is what happens when you do this. No, just that the facts are not important, okay? She might say something that is factually incorrect. You don't need to sit there fact checking, okay? That's not the point. The point is to build a closeness, to make her laugh a little bit, for her to feel good, because a woman makes decisions based on how she feels, not how she logically. She's not going to sit there, okay, well, he's got X, Y, and Z, and he corrected me on this thing when he was correct with that, so that's very attractive that he corrected me on that. She's not going to think that, okay? She's gonna remember, wow, halfway through, he just leaned in and gave me a kiss. Or, the jokes that he was saying had me laughing so much. This guy's really funny. I like that. I want to be around more of that. Okay. So that's it, guys. That's it for today's video. Split those, use those things, those strengths that you have, but also build the soft strengths, those charming strengths, the scoundrel strengths. Okay. This is called the sophisticated scoundrel for this very reason, because I'm a firm believer in the power of the charm, being playful. It'll get you very, very far. All right. So start working on it and keep it up, and we'll see you in the next video.